was this. I mean, despite the media frenzy when he came into the league, he was a relatively private and quiet guy when it came to talking to fans and the press.
Yeah, I would say, Clark, he was more in the Bill Russell, Tim Duncan mold. You know, somebody who shied away from the public eye, really wanted his privacy, and absolutely loved the game and was focused on getting better. And he didn't really care about any of that other stuff.
On the court for Orlando, they've got Grant. Hardaway is out there with Anderson. Then there's Shaquille O'Neal. And it's Royal in at the three, the small forward. A nice shot by Ewing.
Well, Ewing right now scoring well for him.
Well, he was a go-to guy. You know, he's among the all-time top 20 scorers in NBA history.
Now here is Hardaway. Anderson kicks to Hardaway from 20 feet out, and that is good.
Good things happen when he's working like that, fellas.
A tight game here in New York. Here's Harper, looking for his first bucket of the game. It's tipped. Kicks to Ewing.
Well, that's a really slick move to come up with that steal.
Here's Orlando now. A two-point game. The three. Hardaway, no good.
Well, Ewing had great rebounding skills. In fact, he finished his career 9th all-time in defensive rebounds.
You know, you think about John Starks, his story is really a fascinating one. He was a blue-collar type player. He actually spent a few years bagging groceries prior to college. He kind of fit right into that Knicks hard hat, hard work mentality.
And now the first timeout called here for the Magic.
I think Coach saw a couple of things he wanted to correct. You got to make sure everyone's following the game plan.
And John Starks' rise to NBA greatness, really an underdog story.
He was hardworking. He kind of did whatever it took to win. He worked his way up through the minor leagues and eventually became star for the Knicks, Sixth Man of the Year in 1997.
I tell you what, a lot of viewers might only remember Shaq from his post-Laker days, but they should know Shaq was every bit a physical anomaly as Dwight Howard was when he was younger. I mean, big, strong, extremely athletic and mobile. I mean, he was a tour de force.
Anderson against Starks. Hardaway against Harper. Here's Royal. 6 on the shot clock. Out to Hardaway. Launches a three. Can't get it to go. And New York takes it the other way. Back to Shaq, you're talking about him. Clark, you look at the footage of a young Shaquille O'Neal, and the way he could run the floor is really beyond words.
It was awe-inspiring watching Shaq in the early part of his career, guys. I mean, just the size and the strength and the speed for a player his size, just incredible.
Shaq is screen on Harper. Starks against Anderson. Covered by Starks. Here's Hardaway. Oakley pulls down the rebound.
And I love that defensive effort from Derek Harper. He really was a defense-first point guard throughout his career.
Well, Charles Oakley, he and I share the same hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. He attended the small college, Virginia Union University, the same school that produced Ben Wallace. And Oakley was the 9th overall pick in 1985 and had a long, productive career in the NBA.
Here is Anderson. He has 5. Shaq with a screen on Harper. Fires, high post. Knicks with the rebound. Ewing's got 7 rebounds in the game. And Charles Oakley started his career in Chicago as a bodyguard for Michael Jordan and then was traded to the Knicks, forming an imposing front court with Patrick Ewing.
Well, and Walt Frazier said that the trade for Oakley that sent him to New York was reminiscent of the trade back in the 70s that brought Dave DeBusschere to the Knicks because of the similarities between the two, the rebounding, the toughness. I mean, Oakley just gave that Knicks team an edge that they didn't have before.
You know, Patrick Ewing actually played the final season of his illustrious NBA career as a member of the Orlando Magic and now is working for the Magic as an assistant coach.
Looking at who's out there now for the Knicks. Bonner, he's checked in for Oakley. And Hubert Davis subbed in for John Starks. Scotty's checked in for Orlando. Bowie comes in for Anderson. Here's Harper. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Backing down is Ewing. Guarded now by Shaq. Latre. Harper, no good. You mentioned Ewing as an assistant coach at the Magic. Mentors the next great Magic big man, Dwight Howard. They work well together, though Ewing says Howard is much easier going than he was as a player.
Two totally different personalities. I mean, Ewing was so serious and so competitive. And Dwight Howard, while he's competitive and he wants to win, seems to have a lot more fun than Patrick Ewing ever did.
They can go 2 for 1.
Yeah, they need to play it smart. Make sure you get a good shot first and then maybe a second possession.
Here's Harper. 41 seconds left to play in the third. Ewing against Shaq. Up with it. And Patrick Ewing with the slam. And it's a tie ball game.
Well, I like that finish. Perfect for that possession.
Yep, a simple one-hand jam.
That's the way to do it, guys. Shaquille O'Neal just hurting people down low.
Williams, he's checked in for New York. Mason comes in for Smith. And a change for the Magic. Turner's checked in for Horace Grant. And he's unable to convert here on the three-point play. And the Knicks with the ball, trailing by 2. Outside Harper. Deflected. Stolen by O'Neal.
He really didn't have the room there to make that pass, guys.
Fades back. No good on that last second attempt there. And the game still closely contested as we end the third quarter. Really an incredible...
Well, you look at the accolades for Patrick Ewing, and just to name a few right here. I mean, former Rookie of the Year, an 11-time All-Star, also named one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. Fabulous career.
Stolen by Mason.
You know, his head was on the swivel that time, and he was able to anticipate that pass.
Hubert Davis out there with Anthony. Then it's Bonner. Then it's Anthony Mason. And it's Oakley in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the 5 for New York right now. And also for Ewing, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and a member of the original Dream Team back in 1992.
But I think as much as all the hardware, it was Ewing's game-to-game impact and the respect he held that made him special. I mean, in his 17-year career, his teams made the playoffs 14 times. He was just a flat-out winner.
And here is Anthony. Shot clock at 5. The dish to Davis. Connects from three-point range. And the Knicks lead by 1.
And point guard Greg Anthony grew up in Las Vegas, a member of the championship UNLV team in 1990. Got it done right at home.
And what a huge win that was over Duke. The first and only team to score over 100 points in the title game. They were really exciting to watch.
You know, if their plan was to keep going inside a ton, it sure has paid off. I mean, it seems like every bucket they get is in the lane.
Well, no reason to take an outside shot if you're scoring at will from inside the paint.
And a new group in for the Knicks. Patrick Ewing's checked in for Bonner. Smith comes in for Anthony Mason. John Starks checked in for Hubert Davis. And Derek Harper has subbed in for Anthony. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new grouping. Shaq is checked in for Rollins. Grant comes in for Turner. Royal, he's checked in for Scott. And it's Anderson in for Bowie. Now here is Hardaway. He feeds it to Grant. Back to Hardaway. Shaq. Great ball movement. Hardaway, no good.
You know, as tight as this game is, you have to like their chances the way they've been rebounding.
They have a pretty good margin in that department, so they've got to continue to hit the boards hard. It'll pay off for them in the end.
On the basket by Starks.
What a game. This is really fun to watch.
And when games are tight like this, I mean, success or failure can really turn on small details and one or two plays.
Just an unbelievable display of offense here today.
Well, it seems like every shot that goes up finds its way to the hoop. I mean, every player is sharp and on target.
Backing down is Oakley. Puts the lead pass in front of him.
You know, guys, you look at it, one turnover in the game, sometimes that can get overlooked. But I think it shows how well he's playing. I mean, he's really making the most of every possession.
Here's Grant. He goes up again. The Knicks with the lead. Right side, Harper. Guarded by Hardaway. Harper dishes to Starks. This one for three. And it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over.
Boy, in a close game especially, those plays really hurt.
The Knicks making a switch here. Mason's checked in. Scotty's checked in for the Magic. Now a timeout called by Orlando. They're trailing by 2. 1:52 left here in the fourth quarter. That's checked in for the Knicks. Here's Hardaway. Wide open look. A rebound by Oakley.
After fighting back into it, they had a chance to tie this thing up.
Steve, I love it. They are not going away. They've brought it close right now.
Hardaway against Starks. Ewing against Shaq. Ewing, good. Ewing's got 14 points now in the second half.
Well, that's been nice, efficient work, guys, that he's been doing. I mean, we haven't seen him take many bad shots, and that's the sign of a mature, poised player.
Here's Shaq. Goes up and lays it nice and easy.
Great move to the hoop, using his strength to get around the defender.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They're ahead by 2. 1:14 left in the game. Left in the fourth. Now Harper. Feeds it to Ewing. Stolen by O'Neal.
Now that's what the doctor ordered. Just a humongous defensive play.
Anderson passes to Grant. Money! He has tied up. What a shot.
What a clutch shot there.
Really, the definition of clutch.
Here Starks. Back to Smith. Grant gets the rebound. This is a huge possession.
You've got to execute.
Oh! Boy, right down to the wire here, Clark and Steve. Still anyone's ball game.
Both teams really invested now. I mean, this is the type of game you love to win, and you'd hate to lose it.
Boy, after all this energy that both teams have expended, you're right, Clark. This would be a tough one to lose.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They're down by 2. There's 42 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Backing down is Ewing. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
It's great awareness by fouling on that layup. Make him earn 2 points.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, send him to the line instead of giving up an easy 2.
And the first of 2 misses. Sinks the second, and that narrows the gap to 1. 34 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Hardaway with it. the clock. He's guarded by Harper.
He's just so clutch. Here's a guy you want on your side with the game on the line, Kevin.
Time called here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. They trail by 3. 9 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
Well, down 3, you don't necessarily have to go for the 3. You could go for the quick bucket and then the foul.
I'm not sure. I mean, in this situation, I think they should look for the 3, Steve. I mean, try to tie this thing up. You've got 3-point shooters. Let it fly.
The Knicks making a switch here. Here Starks. Passes it to Harper. Puts up the tray. Off target from downtown. And they commit an intentional foul. We'll see another one of those so they can get into the penalty.
A good foul. You got to stop the clock in this situation.
Exactly, Steve. I mean, the clock is their biggest ally right now. They need as much time as they can.
Starks with the steal.
And a nice swipe there. You could see his eyes get wide open when he saw the opportunity to take the ball.
And so the big win by Orlando in a tight game.
Well, they're happy to steal one here in New York.